So I came across this tweet in one of my mutual stories, and it made me realize, have y'all ever noticed how much the United States military uses Native American names for their weapons? We have the Apache helicopter, the Black Hawk helicopter, the Tomahawk missile. There are 3 Navy ships named after Sacagawea, and they even named the military operation against Osama bin Laden as codenamed Geronimo. So in 1947, this Army general was in charge of 2 military helicopters named the Hoverfly and the Dragonfly, but he was not a fan of those names. But he did say that the choppers were fast and agile, and that they would attack enemies in a way that reminded him of how native tribes fought against the United States Army on the Great Plains. And so he named the next helicopter under his possession the Sioux. And this led to Army Regulation 7028, which literally required the military to name helicopters after Native Americans. And one of the reasons given for this rule was that these names suggested an aggressive spirit, and on the Department of Defense website you can even see that it says, when you think of these helicopters, remember the spirit, confidence, agility, endurance, and warrior ethos their names evoke. The obvious irony, though, is that the United States military itself was responsible for the genocidal massacres and the ethnic cleansing that killed off these warriors and colonized their lands. In fact, a writer in the Washington Post put it this way: why do we name our battles and weapons after people we have vanquished? Because the myth of the worthy native adversary is more palatable than the reality. The conquered tribes of this land were not rivals but victims, cheated and impossibly outgunned. It is worse than denial, it is propaganda, and whatever measure it is a tribute to the dead, it is in greater measure a boost to our national sense of superiority. And seeing how the United States has used and sold these weapons to other countries throughout the world to be used in mass killings of other indigenous peoples, this naming convention is quite literally one of the most violent forms of cultural appropriation. But did you know this? Let me know in the comments and follow for more.